When we make an enlargement, we change the size of an object but not its shape. In this example, we want to make an enlargement of the triangle ABC, and in order to do this we need two pieces of information. We need the centre of enlargement, here marked O, and we need the scale used in the enlargement. This scale indicates that for every 1 unit of measurement in the smaller triangle, there will be a corresponding 3 units of measurement in the new triangle. So using the centre of enlargement and the scale, we will now construct our new triangle. The first thing we do is take 3 points of reference in our small triangle. In this example we have taken point A, B and C. The next thing we do is draw a line between point O and through these reference points. Located somewhere along these lines would be the corresponding coordinates for our new triangle. And to find these coordinates we use our scale. For example, if we measure the distance between O and C, this distance is represented by the number 1 in the scale. So if this distance was 5 centimeters, then the corresponding point for our new triangle will be 3 times this distance along this line, which means this distance will be located along this line 15 centimeters from point O. And we mark this point C1. Again, we take the distance between O and B, and we multiply this distance by 3 to find a new coordinate B1. So if O to B is 2 centimeters, then O and B1 will be 6 centimeters. Similarly, we take the distance OA and multiply this distance by 3 to find our new coordinate of A1. If the length of the line OA is 4 centimeters, then the length of the line OA1 will be 12 centimeters. And we mark this point on our coordinates. Having calculated the 3 coordinates of our new shape, we can now construct the triangle. Just to review what we've looked at again, we need 2 things to make an enlargement. We need the centre of enlargement, marked O, and the scale we are going to use in the enlargement. In this example, the scale was 1, 2, 3. We start by drawing lines from point O through reference points in the small triangle. In this example, we use the points A, B and C. And somewhere on these lines will be the new coordinates for our larger triangle. And to find where exactly these new coordinates are, we use the scale. Our scale is 1, 2, 3, so every one of these distances, our new coordinates will be 3 times that length. So the distance OA1 will be 3 times the length, the distance of OA. OB1 will be 3 times the length of distance OB. And OC1 will be 3 times the length of the distance OC. I just want to add an important note about scale factors here. If the scale factor is greater than 1, then the image becomes larger, but if the scale factor is less than 1, the image will become smaller. In this example, we have looked at a scale factor of 1 to 3, so the image will be 3 times larger than the original image. In this example, we have reduced the size of the triangle ABC to form the triangle A1, B1, C1, and we want to find the scale factor used. And the first thing we have to do is find the centre of enlargement for the triangle. To do this, we draw a line from A through A1, B through B1, and C through C1. Where these lines intersect is our centre of enlargement, and we have marked this point O. And the centre of enlargement is located at the coordinates -1, 6. Having found our centre of enlargement, we have now defined by what scale the larger triangle has been reduced. And by virtue of the fact that the large triangle has in fact been reduced, we know the scale is less than 1. But how do we calculate the exact scale? Well, there are 2 ways to achieve this. The first way we can do this is to measure the distance between O and A1, OB1 or OC1, and calculate what fraction this distance is of OA, OB or OC. For example, if O to A were 6 centimeters and O to A1 were 2 centimeters, then the scale factor used would be 2 over 6 or 1/3. Another way to calculate the scale factor used is to measure the face of the smaller triangle and calculate what fraction the length of this face is of the corresponding face in the larger triangle. For example, the length is 2 centimeters and the length is 6 centimeters. Therefore again our scale is 2 over 6 or 1/3. Remember, in a question like this you will be asked to fully describe the transformation used in enlarging the large triangle into the smaller triangle. The first thing you will have to do is find the center of enlargement, write down the coordinates of the center of enlargement, and then identify the scale used in the enlargement. And the scale used can be calculated from the lines drawn or from the faces of the shapes. In this example, we are going to enlarge the image ABCD with a scale factor of 1 to -2. Now, when we use a negative scale factor, the image is drawn on the opposite side of the center of enlargement. This means the image is not going to be drawn in this sector, but somewhere in this sector. We take the points A, B, C, and D and draw a line from each of these points through O. So the coordinates of our new shape will lie somewhere along these lines on the opposite side of the center of enlargement. And to find exactly where these coordinates are, we use our scale. Our scale being used is 1 to -2. So if we measure the distance between AO and double this distance, we will find the coordinate A1. Similarly, if we measure the distance BO and double this distance, we will find the coordinate B1. Measure the distance CO, double this distance, and we will find the coordinate C1. And measure the distance DO and double this distance, and we'll find the coordinate D1. Remember, when using a negative scale, the enlarged image will be on the far side of the center of enlargement. And to calculate the lines on which the coordinates of our new shape are placed, we draw lines from points on our original shape through the center of enlargement. Then, using our scale, we calculate the exact positions of the coordinates in the new shape. And if you haven't noticed already, when using a negative scale, the enlarged image is upside down. So just to review again, you have three main types of enlargements. First type where we enlarge an image by a given scale. The second type is where we reduce an image by a given scale which is less than 1. And the third type is where we enlarge an image with a negative scale factor. The formation of all these types of enlargement involve the use of the center of enlargement and the scale of enlargement. And pay particular attention to negative enlargements, where the final image will be in the opposite side of the center of enlargement and will be upside down.